Bruce Pritchard was on a sabbatical during your time in 92 right then when you were jumping in and would not return until the end of the year. Do you think the missed cue may not have happened if Bruce was sitting in Gorilla that evening?
It was just an accident. You're going back so far, it's hard to remember. So
Sure.
I'm going to give it to you as I remember, umpteen years later. And this is what I remember. I'm pretty sure Gorilla Monsoon was at the table. And I was so green that they knew it, I knew it, that they said basically, don't go until we tell you to. Now, Gorilla probably is not used to having to tell people when to go, so there was a miscue there. I don't know, man. It was just a bad accident, but it was not my fault. Bruce probably not. I don't know. Bruce might have put more confidence in me and said, "Hey, you know when to go." And then Gorilla didn't have. I don't know if it was Gorilla. For whatever reason, I was told don't go till I was told to go.
Right.
And if I would have, it's going back too far, to be honest. I can make myself look good and say, if they would have left it to me, I would have got it done. But, I can't say that, man. I was so excited to be there, bro. All of a sudden, they're just building me up. And the next thing I know, I'm throwing to a main event. And I didn't know till I got at TV what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm doing what? And how, not knowing any of the background or any of that. So, if Bruce Pritchard was there, maybe not,
Do you remember?
I'd have done a little different.
Did you go over it during the day? Did y'all do any practice runs?
No.
Okay, that was it. All right. Well,
and to be honest, I'm telling you, all I knew is what I had to do when I got there. And that's all I was concentrating on. And I'm literally like a track guy, like waiting to go behind the curtain. And when they said go, and I don't know what's happening in the ring. Later in life, I would have been smarter. I wouldn't have been so green. I would have been more polished. But all I knew was what I had to do when I got there. That's all I was concentrating on. And like I said, I didn't hear about this. I didn't hear about this from Vince. I didn't hear about this from Hogan. I didn't hear about it from Sid. I didn't hear about Taker. I did not hear about this till I was out of wrestling, doing autograph signings, and people are like, so you missed your cue? And I'm like, I missed what cue? Mind you, I don't go back and watch stuff that I did. Maybe on a Monday night or something, if I said something really funny or something, I might have thought I want to see the action. But I don't do that. And so I really didn't know about that until later when I was done wrestling.
Brian Fuller said, I was there at WrestleMania VIII and I liked the Papa Shango character. Up to that point, Papa Shango just didn't seem to fit as a guy who would want to help anyone. I always thought if you cost Hogan the match and also beat up Sid, and then the Warrior made the save, then you could have gone out on your own or with a spooky manager similar to Paul Bearer. I know that in WWF, all the bad guys had to like each other, so Vince wouldn't have gone for it. But I think Papa Shango could have gotten on a even longer run in that setup. What do you think about that idea of just being ultimate heel?
That could have worked. I really think that all that was thrown together at the last minute.
Yeah.
And that's what they came up with. And if they had more time, they might have came up with something more. But I don't think that was well thought out. I think it was, like you said, bing, bang, boom. There I am. Who's ready? Papa Shango, throw him in there. It's a great storyline. I think it went like that. I don't think that my longevity wasn't the main concern of theirs. I think their concern was to give the Warriors something to do.
Did you have any relationship with Sid?
No, not at all.
What about Warrior?
Warrior was cool with me. I think Warrior was cool with me because he wasn't threatened by me.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was cool to put over what we were doing. You know, if you really look at that, that took a lot. That could have really messed up his career too. I mean, he was putting over the voodoo and doing all that. So Jim was cool. Most people have negative things to say about him, and a lot of it's probably well deserved. But he was cool with me, man. He really was cool with me. I always tell people two things that killed Papa Shango was that running and ex-wife. And because I got basically, I know how it went down. No, don't hold me to this, but Sid was supposed to job for, I think, the Warrior. He refused to do the job. He left in the meeting, in the production meeting. Vince says, "Well, who's got any heat to him?" And they're like, "The only one's got any heat is Papa Shango." And they said, "Is he ready?" And they said, "Yeah, we think he's ready." Bam. That's what happened to Papa Shango. He got sacrificed. There was never at any time any program that the Ultimate Warrior was set up to do with him. It was just something to do, bam, to happen. And then, like I said, I was going through what really happened to Papa Shango was I was going through a bad divorce, which I'm not going to get into, but I was going through a bad divorce, and it put me in a bad place. And every night, and I mean every night after the show, the bear's coming out. Now Taker is dealing with the bear every night. And this is before social media, and this is before a lot of things where something happened in a town, it stayed in that town, because if you really didn't hear about it. And we're hanging out in biker clubs and topless clubs and more country bars. We're hanging out in places like that where it's easy for me to get into a fight. And I'd get into fights, and then me, Vince, and Taker sat down, and we thought the best thing for Charles Wright was for me to go home and get my mind right.